Hey, did you hear about the brand new RSX? Oh, you mean like a little bit more modern version of like a legendary two-door sports car like, say, the Integra? No, it's a bold, brand new EV SUV. Wait, what? They can't keep getting away with this. Acura has made a brand new, exciting, bold announcement of the brand new Acura RSX. Let me Google this really quick. Oh wait, RSX says it's a sports car on Google. Interesting. Not according to them now. Yes, the ingenious car industry, just when you thought it wasn't any more tone deaf. I don't understand. Acura has decided to take the RSX name and make it an SUV. And they couldn't have chosen any other 3 letters in the entire alphabet. They had to use RSX. They had to use a legacy sports car name for an SUV. Another day, another EV that gets unveiled that looks like this. Of course. Anyways, if you just so happen not to know what the Acura RSX was, it was basically a more modernized Integra here in the United States with a K-Series engine, and it was really fun to drive, really great, manual transmission, sounded like this. Or, when you turboed it, sounded like this. And it was actually the more modern Integra in Japan. We just called it the RSX here in the States. But we live in a world where a car company in North America like Mitsubishi is on its last leg, and they have a board meeting and they decide the best thing they could do is to name an SUV the Eclipse. Yes, a tuner car. Then a 2-door tuner car. Let's just call it that on this SUV, this generic SUV that has no significance whatsoever. It was already terrible, but hey, it was a gasoline SUV, I guess. And the Eclipse is kind of sort of in the same tuner generation as the RSX. So this isn't the first time this has happened. And it's now joining the rank of marketing mistakes in the automotive industry in the past few years. We then got the Mustang Mach-E, which I honestly think is a pretty good car. But hear me out, I just wish they named it differently. But at least Ford says, and that they're transparent about it, that they sell the Mach-E in order to build the normal Mustang and keep selling the normal V8 Mustang. To me, it's not as much of an insult to the Mustang brand because the real Mustang still exists. It didn't replace it like the Eclipse and now the RSX. Especially with the S650 unfortunately having pretty low sales, mostly due to cost, and it's an expensive Mustang, but at least it's still around. At least it's still here. I'm grateful for that. So if they have to sell the Mach-E to do that, I'm cool with it. And then you have car companies like Jag, who completely missed the mark with their last marketing campaign, because Jag really represented being cool and having a racing legacy, and legacy British brand that is unapologetically British, and at the same time made you feel like a Bond villain, right? That was the greatest marketing they ever did, was the Villains commercial. And now it's a chiseled piece of concrete with an HVAC system on the back. And I met some people who defended this, and I'm just like, okay, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. And this RSX is honestly making the Acura Integra look good. When the Acura Integra was first unveiled, the base model, I was a hater, dude. Absolute hater. Because I wanted a successor to the DC2 Integra, the classic Integra that most of us know. I wanted them to bring the 2-door sporty car back to it, but their justification was the Civic Si sales, for the most part, weren't that great. But in my opinion, the Civic and the Integra were a little bit different of an audience, so they just made this 4-door car, really. The Type S does drive very well. It's basically a nicer version of the Honda Civic Type R. It was a nice car to drive. The interior was really nice and everything. I just still wish they made a coupe version. But this RSX marketing decision makes that look like not a big deal at all. I think something I never saw coming is that the Honda Prelude might be more like a modern RSX or a modern Integra that we all wanted, with being a two-door sports coupe. I will say though, the new Integra, you barely see them on the road anyways, and most people think they're an ILX. And at least the Integra Type S was a performance upgrade to the base model car in a very significant way. That's at least a positive. Here we're just getting another bubbly SUV with a low roofline in the back. This whole thing is just so strange nowadays. Acura reveals a bold new RSX. How is this bold when it's just copying everybody else's marketing mistakes? Does nobody ever learn from their competitors? Does everybody just stay in their office building and never look at the competition anymore? It's just weird. It's honestly starting to get to the point that if I put a tinfoil hat on, it feels like the companies are almost pissing us off on purpose to get us to talk about these cars, which is unfortunately working right now because here I am. You got me. But this goes to any car company making these weird decisions. Just because we talk about it doesn't mean it's going to be good for you in the long run. When it comes to the enthusiasts and the hardcore fans of your brand, it just kind of makes it look like you're completely tone deaf to your legacy and your history.
Hey Amanda, you are lead marketing of the Integra and you have to present this new prototype. What is your angle?
I quit.
Deleting your entire history like what Jag did is absolutely insane. It removes all the credibility, all the accomplishments, all the racing accomplishments, all that just to be deleted. It's just crazy. And that's basically what you're doing with these modern SUV type cars. And some people were comparing it to the Lamborghini Urus. Even then, at least Lamborghini is building their crazy supercars that are unattainable for 90% of people because that's their brand. They sell the SUV to fund everything else. And guess what? The SUV sells good. And I want to be absolutely clear, these videos I'm making about these car companies, I'm not insulting the engineers or the R&D team or the people developing these cars. They're talented and they're hardworking. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why put all this work into something like this and then call it the completely wrong thing? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just come up with a new name? Nobody would care. Nobody would be hurtful about it or annoyed by it. It's just the premise and the idea and the quote unquote audacity, right? It's more so to be like, are they really that crazy? Are they really that tone deaf to the entire car world? Like, that's where we get really confused. And this is based on an EV concept that was unveiled not too long ago. And I guarantee you, people who walked by that concept did not point at that and go, that's absolutely the new RSX. Like, who would ever, not a single person, there's no way. There's no way they identified with that. Who walks by that and says, that's absolutely it, that's the one? Did I fail at one point in an alternate dimension, like an ink blot test with two different cars and different realities and I got it wrong? Like, that's what it feels like right now. So I posted about this and I'm gonna read some comments of some people's thoughts. So this was from Reddit that stuck out. Well, you know the rules, r/cars hates it, so it will do amazing. Yeah, probably, unfortunately. Tommy made a really good point. Is it cool for a daily? Yes, as the car. As the car, I'm sure it's a nice car. I'm sure it'll drive nice. I'm sure it'll do all the right things. Should it be the RSX? Absolutely not. I cracked up at this one. Eclipse RSX. I can't wait for the new Sylvia crossover. That seems completely plausible now. Could you imagine telling somebody 20 years ago that it might be possible that Nissan might call their next SUV the Sylvia? Nowadays, it wouldn't surprise us that much. We'd be like, yeah, seems to check out. And Enzo said, I just want to know what happens at meetings nowadays for the design process. We went from standout silhouettes of car designs to plain modern design ideas and philosophy that no longer have any personality. This could also go for just brands in general going very minimalist with their fonts and their logos, kind of like we talked about Jag earlier. Everything has to be spaced out or lowercase and kind of boring, right? It's copy and paste across the entire industry. When manufacturers are managed by bankers, investors, and stakeholder-driven leadership, I guess this is what you get. It's kind of like in the gaming industry where the investors of the company or the developer completely rush the developers to get the product out. Kind of like one of my favorite redemption stories in, say, the gaming industry. Cyberpunk, that game was rushed out mostly by the investors when the game simply wasn't ready, and it was a hot mess when it came out. This feels like investors going, we need a new product right now. I don't care what you name it. You need to get something new out there. And there's like, let's just call it the RSX and let's just get it out there. That's kind of what it feels like. In my news story videos in the past year or so, I might have come off as pessimistic, but it's more so just like, I just can't believe it. I truly can't believe that nobody learns from each other. I don't understand it. I love cars. I love driving them and reviewing them. And I always try to find the good things in a car before any bad things. But when it comes to the marketing of the industry, I just can't believe it. And that's why I make videos like this, because I'm just so blown away that I just have to talk about it. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.